Ghostrunner is an action platform video game co-developed by One More Level and Splitgate Ironworks, produced by 3D Realms and co-published by 505 Games and All In Games. The game was released for PS4, Windows, and Xbox One in October 2020, Nintendo Switch in November 2020, and followed by a next-gen release for PS5 and Xbox Series X in September 2021. The story of Ghostrunner sees you play as Jack, who just so happens to be a Ghostrunner. Ghostrunners are highly sophisticated cyborgs created in order to protect the world leaders. Ghostrunners boast myriad abilities and combat prowess. Individuals have even been known to be in possession of unique abilities that would vary between Ghostrunners. The plot of Ghostrunner will take you through a post-apocalyptic dystopian cyberpunk city on a quest to stop Mara, the Keymaster. The real meat and potatoes of this game is its gameplay, with only about 3 or 4 other characters to speak of. Do believe that there's more to it than meets the eye though, so come along with me as we explore the city of Dharma so we can answer the question, how was it? So after being thrown from the top of the tower and having our arm ripped off, we somehow awake with a new mechanical prosthetic and a whisper in our head.
You're alive. Can you hear me?
So right off the bat, the game looks great. The textures and shadows are highly detailed and the lighting is well done. You can tell that this is a finely polished product. The movement seems really fun and well done, but that doesn't stop me from failing quite a few times and falling to my death. That being said though, I have to be honest. This game is harder than a year-old Jolly Rancher that's been left in the freezer. This game is harder than a diamond sticking out of Bowser's ass. This game is harder than Sekiro. Yeah. If I could explain to you how many times I died while trying to complete this game, it would be a marathon of explanation. In fact, since this game logs how many times you die, let's just go ahead and throw up a counter. In Ghostrunner, if you fall, you die. If you get hit one time, you die. If you look away to scratch your nose for 1 second, you die. And you don't get any guns or anything like that. All you have is your trusty weeb Tana and your 2 left feet, plus your bullet time action. But every enemy you encounter will have a firearm though, with the exception of a few melee enemy types. Mostly what this is you basically timing and dodging enemy projectiles with precise reflexes and precision, all the while traversing the parkour elements of the map in one fluent go. You're also given tools such as a grappling hook and certain skills you unlock along your journey. In order to unlock abilities, you're sent into a virtual reality space to solve a puzzle so that the new software can integrate into your system. The whisper in your head, now identified as the architect, will shepherd you through these skill unlocks as well as the rest of our adventure.
Number 74 to be precise. That will have to do for now.
Supposedly, the architect once lorded over the city for one of his subordinates, Mara, orchestrated a coup to overthrow him. Under the tyranny of Mara, the city of Dharma suffers to no end, and now it's our job to diminish this cybernetic tyrant, is what the architect says. He would have us kill Mara so that he could reclaim control over the city, but the demeanor in this guy's voice just tells me that something's not quite right.
For someone like you.
A Ghostrunner.
Yes. You were bodyguards, peacekeepers, arbitrators, and anything else we needed you to be.
The system we use to upgrade our abilities consists of tetramino-like pieces on a grid. As you progress through the story, more grid slots open up, allowing you to fit more abilities. The more open slots you have on your grid, the faster whatever abilities you have slotted there recharge. An interesting system that I can honestly say I've never encountered. Here we meet a second character in our story, Zoe. She was part of an organization known as the Climbers, a group who was wiped out when rebelling against Mara.
This is Zoe Avila of the Climbers. Please, can anybody hear me? Anybody?
This is Ghostrunner.
The Ghostrunner? Jack? You're awake!
Yes.
How? We've been rebuilding you for months. We tried everything we could to wake you up, but you never won.
The Climbers had found Jack and repaired him as best they could after he was thrown from the tower. Now Zoe will be with us on comms to assist Jack in any way that she can in taking down Mara. A lot of the infrastructure, at least at first, of Dharma City consists of stilted pipes and suspended objects for Jack to run along, And when you look at it objectively, it's hard to imagine anyone getting along these routes. My favorite game is Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and let me tell you, this game is nothing like that. Traversal here can be extremely daunting, and it's not always obvious where to go or where to jump. Combine that with hordes of pistol shooting maniacs and the difficulty can really skyrocket. You'll often come across sections where enemies will be shielded by these floating conduits, and in order to break the shield, you need to destroy the conduit while it's navigating around a bunch of enemies that all shoot at you. The devs knew they had a hard-ass game on their hands because they placed checkpoints for you to restart at almost every 100 feet. The bullet time dodge mechanic will be necessary throughout the majority of the game, not just for you to dodge your enemies, but for you to reposition yourself in traversal. All in all, this game requires your complete concentration, I would say, at all times, with absolutely zero room for error. So here they go, ramping up the difficulty even more. You thought you were just gonna wall run? Well, let me tell you, friend, if you thought you were just gonna continue to wall run without having electrical pulses running through the surfaces of the walls, you've got another thing coming. Now, I'm not sure if this mechanic brought me enjoyment or even more stress, but I'm pretty sure it was bringing more stress. Some of these parts I just really couldn't get past. I'm not sure what I was doing wrong, nor did I really see an alternative way to deal with this encounter, but all I could do was throw lives at this part until I got it right. This game is filled with encounters like that where it's seemingly almost impossible to get through. I'm sure some of the more experienced players could do this with ease, but for my first time, it was a pretty rough situation. I have never died so many times on one little part of any game. They literally managed to stretch out a 15-second section to a full 20 minutes. It's actually quite impressive. We unlock our first real skill, the blink. It's like a dash where you can quickly slash through one or multiple enemies and projectiles, closing the gap out of your bullet time mechanic.
Enemies won't line up for you. Adapt to their movements. Sensory boosts give you time to aim. Use it.
The aiming algorithm attached to the AI is pretty tricky. They aren't shooting where you're going to be, they're shooting at where you are with extreme accuracy and fast flying projectiles. You won't be able to throw them off like you'd expect you would without fast moving traversal. The loading screens are hidden within this elevator sequence in a nice smooth transition where you'll also be able to see your mission statistics. During this mission, we encounter yet another mechanic in the form of temporary collectible buffs that can speed Jack up to the point that everything else moves in slow motion. We will need to use that newfound speed in order to get through spinning fan blades and past difficult enemies.
Once they disable the facility, the air will slowly become lethal. The children and the elderly will get sick first, but eventually, it'll kill everyone.
Take a look at this part here. I'm really not sure what they intended the player to do here because I don't think our newly acquired blink skill can actually go that far. It feels interesting and also unfair at the same time, and the devs just knew people would get wiped endlessly through the entire story with how fast they set the respawn time. The game continues to ramp up the difficulty, incorporating more and more enemies as my death count continues to reach new heights. Eventually, we reach what I guess we would call our first boss fight. An impossible to comprehend laser projector thing.
It's troublesome.
How do I disable it?
First, you should get on top. You could probably cut it down. It won't hold without the supporting cords.
All you can really do here is use trial and error skills as you learn exactly which laser barriers will be where and when. This was the first point in the game where I truly began to feel hopeless as there was no seemingly viable path in sight.
Activated.
I can't even... I had no idea something like this existed.
Keep moving.
Turn back. If it hits you, it's all over.
When I finally reached the top of this thing, the situation got even worse, if you can believe it.
Take it down. Are you okay?
So now with pulses of energy traveling through the walls at a truly rapid pace, I'm gonna somehow make my way back up the shaft to cut down the laser machine once and for all. This shit was actually daunting. I mean, in the beginning, I really had no idea how I was going to do this, and I really was contemplating giving up. It took every goddamn thing I had to make it back up this shaft, only to be greeted by another array of lasers and wall running, along with the energy pulsing through the ground.
T073M malfunction. T073M malfunction detected. All residents. Welcome to Amita Elevator Station. Have a safe trip.
If I'm honest, never have I ever felt so hopeless in any video game. So I fight tooth and nail before arriving back at the top of the shaft and finally cut down the laser contraption for good.
Welcome to Amita Elevator Station.
This last little bit wasn't extremely hard, but that doesn't mean I didn't die quite a few times getting it done.
For the love of...
We built it to last.
Amita Elevator Station. Have a safe trip. Please leave the station in an orderly fashion. Warning.
As expected, it was no match.
Wow. Watching from your perspective, I nearly pissed myself. I'm betting being there in person was 1,000 times worse.
Yes.
Alright, with that big fuck off boss down, we finally reached the inner city, and it's a beautifully desolate cyberpunk reimagination of Metropolis.
I told you.
Popping neon adverts and towering infrastructure throughout.
And only a chosen few.
Mara strictly controls the flow of resources between the city and the base. Food, water, people.
So now the game wants to throw another new enemy at us, in the form of some weebs with katanas. All you can really do against these guys is parry them and then attack or use a special ability, and if you don't time it correctly, you will die. If you try to attack them without their guard being broken, you will be sent flying and most likely, you will die.
That, but the backup archive still exists.
Go what?
That's your stop.
GR-74 located. Kill switch component not found. Permission to engage.
We eventually reach our second boss fight, who seems to be a Ghostrunner modeled in our image. To overcome this encounter, what you need to do is match her sword strikes blow for blow, and that will break her shield, allowing you to attack. Eventually, after much trial and error, I'm finally able to defeat her in a pretty gory fatality.
Flawless. Now for the important part. We can scan it for the missing data.
We can't alter the planet, but we can alter ourselves.
That is nonsense.
Now we can finally see the fruits of Mara's labor. Instead of bolstering the inner city habitation compatibility, she's chosen to alter the human anatomy, turning the citizenry into these abhorrent crawling beasts. Supposedly, her reasoning is that this way, people will be able to better survive in the perilous city conditions. Pretty grim stuff.
Entirely artificial respiratory system. Synthetic grass covering 80% of the body. No brains to speak of. This is Mara's solution.
These guys tend to self-destruct as soon as you get anywhere near them, so your best friends when encountering them is your mobility and quick thinking. You'll just need to stay as far away from them as possible. So now we've unlocked yet another new skill. We're able to mind control an enemy of our choice, sowing chaos amongst the enemy troops if used strategically. This new mind control skill being crucial to deal with a newly introduced enemy to the game that won't let you get close unless mind controlled. After many more deaths, we finally encounter the final boss, Mara. She looks as if a Spider Daedra fucked Doc Ock.
So, do you even know what drives you, puppet? What the endgame is? You have done nothing wrong, puppet, but I can't let you be. As long as that demon in your head exists. You are a threat to everything I've built.
This fight is pretty choreographed, with her attacks being fairly easy to read as long as you know what she's gonna do, and she will use the same attack pattern every time that you retry the fight.
Run all you want.
You eventually memorize her attack pattern so that you can move in for the kill.
I should have taken your head! Mindless tool.
The voice acting on Mara is, I don't know, common. I felt like maybe a little bit more emotion could have been put into it, as it really felt out of place. Not very diegetic at all.
Stage of my plan. Allow me to do the honors.
What are you doing?
As soon as we cut down Mara, the architect, who's been helping us along this entire journey, finally reveals his treachery.
Do not struggle, TR-74. I need your body, but I don't need the rest of you anymore.
What?
The rebels broke you, made you independent, and I was too weak to take back control. Too fractured, but you strengthened me, connected the remaining cybervoid nodes so I could grow. And now, it's time to take back what's mine. Bring peace back to
The guy who's been spouting authoritarian ideals this entire time, contradicting any sort of wholesome value presented by Zoe the Climber, has betrayed us. Oh no, how could I have seen that coming? So now we're thrown back into his data fortress world where his mind resides. He doesn't have a body because it was killed off, and now he would like to have ours. Before we can reach the sky, I need to complete the most difficult part yet. At least for me. Most of the points of traversal lie suspended above an endless fall, and you'll have to be goddamn precise in order to get through it. Now listen, I had serious problems with this part because the jumping mechanic isn't as easy to pull off as it looks. These platforms require you to be holding the left or right keys to jump from one to another, and when they're so short and moving in your direction at the same time, it can be really hard to get that key pressed to confirm before you make your jump. I end up dying here countless times. And then they kick it up a notch and start even adding obstacles that hinder your trajectory. And I know I said it back in the laser room that I felt hopeless and was about to give up, but this part was truly where I honestly had lost all hope. I have no idea what kept me going, but it got so bad at certain points that I just knew that I couldn't do it. Somewhere after the 30-minute or 40-minute mark, I began having breakthroughs and making progress through these platforms. But if I'm honest, I never experienced a section in a game that was that hard in my life, ever. So finally, after what seemed like an eternity, like really, I'm able to reach the architect, who begs and pleads with us not to kill him, on account of if we did, our system would also shut down.
If you destroy me, the remaining cybervoid system will shut down. You won't survive without them. You won't survive without me. No, I will not be deleted by a mere tool. I forbid you, Ghostrunner.
My name is Jack.
But of course we put the sword through him anyway, and Jack's system shuts down seemingly for good.
Architect.
Shell core files missing. Cybervoid mainframe will now
Shut down. Program terminated.
The world has ended. But we lived on. The tower is our home. The only one we've ever known.
So, 2,217 deaths later, what do I think about Ghostrunner? Well, it was a fun game, albeit harder than getting a cat's attention. I mean, that was so hard, I'm not sure I would actually consider playing it again. I had a great time, sure, but 2,217 deaths? I'm probably just bad, but I'm pretty glad it's over. I am grateful to have had that experience, though. I doubt too many more games I'll play will introduce levels of difficulty similar. The story on it was meh. It was alright, nothing to write home about. Your basic story of authoritarian dictatorship, but it didn't feel that engaging. Where Ghostrunner really shines is in its gameplay. When you separate the torso and the legs from a bandit, it really feels satisfying, especially because just arriving at that opportunity to make it happen is quite the challenge. You can be insanely smooth and really feel like a ninja in this one, but it will come at the cost of every bit of your concentration. I guess that's what makes it rewarding. If you're one of those masochist type gamers, I say play Ghostrunner, it's definitely for you. But if you just want to sit back and chill and enjoy a game and some story, this probably isn't your cup of tea. So hey, what do you guys think about Ghostrunner though? You guys enjoyed it? Can't stand it? Maybe you're just tired of hearing my BS. Well, whether you love the game or despise it, I hope from the bottom of my heart you guys are having fun out there in this golden age of video games. Hey guys, Blaine Blast here. Thanks for checking out my video, I really appreciate that. I couldn't even tell you how much it means. I hope you guys got even a little bit of enjoyment out of this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Blaine Blast out.